Did you know that the mental health report released by World Health Organization shows that 1 out of 8 people globally has a mental health disorder, which equates to 970 million people? In Tanzania, children and young adults aged 0 to 24 years struggling with mental health issues don't always have access to adequate care because they lack understanding about mental illness and its causes leading to mental health crisis. Mimi ninaamini katika kuweka kipaumbele afya zetu za akili, na ndio maana hii season hailengi pekee katika kukusaidia kuelewa hali ya afya ya akili nchini Tanzania, lakini pia inalenga kukusaidia uwe na uelewa mzuri wa afya ya akili. Please tune in for all of this information. Hey guys, mambo vipi? Karibu tena kwenye episode yetu ya 6 ya Mental Glow with Jacqueline Amani. Guys, we've come such a long way. Kuanzia episode ya kwanza mpaka ya 5, we've been learning a lot concerning matters related to our mental health. And based on that, I have 3 questions that will act as a reminder to you, my beloved listener. That's why you hear the drum rolls, guys. So the first question is, have you thought about checking your mental health status? And the second one is, umetafakari kuhusiana na rasilimali ambazo zitakusaidia kukabiliana na changamoto ya afya ya akili? Na ya tatu ni, how are you using social media? Are you using social media kwa ajili ya kujijenga au kujibomoa? So back to you guys. If it's your first time to listen to Mental Glow, please do join us on our Twitter and Instagram page at Mental Glow TZ. And if you want to chit chat or talk about anything concerning mental health or Mental Glow, tafadhali usisahau kutumia hashtag Mental Glow TZ. So for those who did listen to episode 5, already know what we'll be talking about in this episode. But if you did not, then in this episode, I'll be sharing my personal experience of identity crisis. It will be more like a storytelling. So it's going to be really fun. I hope you guys get to enjoy. And I also hope that you get to relate and learn from my personal experience. And kabla sijaelezea, hebu tusikie watu ambao wamewahi kupitia identity crisis au experience identity crisis wanasemaje.
To do a great job, if I dare say, one has to become the job. Learn, train, and evolve to become the best at what you do. And that's what I did. What I lived through. Until I was moved to a new department and introduced to new tasks. As I was starting to become this new job, to identify by it, I was returned to my old post in a short notice. To say I was utterly confused is an understatement. I walked into work each day struggling with work because professionally I did not know who I was anymore. It took time and counseling, but I eventually rediscovered my identity and improved my performance significantly.
Kuna kipindi katika maisha yangu ambapo sikujua mimi ni nani. Si kwa sababu nilisahau jina langu au wapi nilipotokea, ila kwa sababu nilihisi kupotea na kuchanganyikiwa. Katika maisha yangu niliwahi kujikuta katika maamuzi mawili magumu sana kuhusu career yangu na maisha yangu ya baadaye. Upande mmoja ilikuwa ni ndoto niliyotamani kuishi siku zote za maisha yangu, na upande mwingine ni kile ambacho hatma ilikuwa imepanga kwa ajili yangu. Upande ambao hatma ulipanga kwa ajili yangu haukuwa kitu nilichotaka kufanya katika maisha yangu, na upande ambao ulikuwa ni ndoto yangu ilikuwa nje ya uwezo wangu. Ilikuwa ngumu sana kwangu, kwani sikujua ni wapi ning'ang'anie au wapi nipiganie. Yalikuwa maamuzi magumu sana kwangu, kwani nilijihisi nimechanganyikiwa na kupotea kwa sababu nilihisi kutojifahamu tena kuwa mimi ni nani na ninahitaji nini. Mgogoro wa utambulisho ni jambo ambalo lilinikuta, aidha kwa kujua au kutokujua, kwani ni kipindi ambacho nilijihisi kutojifahamu mimi ni nani na nahitaji nini na kipi natakiwa kukifanya. Ilifika wakati nilijaribu hata kujibadilisha kiakili, kifikra, kimuonekano, hata kitabia pia, ili kuendana na kile ambacho hatma imepanga kwa ajili yangu. Kutokana na nilichopitia na kilichotokea katika maisha yangu, naweza sema mgogoro wa utambulisho ni kipindi ambacho unahisi kupoteza uhakika kuhusu wewe ni nani na nini unahitaji kufanya katika maisha yako na kipi unakistahili katika maisha yako.
So I kind of relate to the lady's experience kwa sababu hata mimi ilifika muda katika maisha yangu ambapo nilitakiwa kuchagua kati ya vitu viwili. And in that case, I could not see things clearly. I was very confused. So let me take you guys way back. Tangia wakati niko mdogo. And I think it's something ambacho tumeongelea kwenye episode ya 5 ambapo Mr. Masaka alisema kwamba kabla mtu yoyote hajaanza kujitambulisha, anaanza kutambulisha. So as for me, my family, mostly my parents, my dad especially, alikuwa anatamani niwe daktari. So it's something ambayo nimekuwa mtoto nikisikia, you should be a doctor, you know, you'll make a great doctor, look at you with a white coat, you know, all the things, you know, all the good things concerning doctors. So niko mdogo nasoma, in my head I'd be like, I should be a doctor. People expect me to be a doctor. Kwa hiyo nimeenda secondary level, nimesoma science subjects, and I think it actually hit me nilipokuwa form 4 that day. I think this is something ambayo kila mtu anapitia. Before we start our national exams, tunapewa zile sheets ambazo we're supposed to write our selection tukifaulu high school tungependa kusoma masomo gani, right? So I remember sitting there, and my first selection that I was really passionate about, I might say, ilikuwa ni kuandika history, geography, and economics, HGE. But then in my mind, that voice came and you should be a doctor. It clicked just like that. And I was like, yeah, right. I should write PCB. And so my first selection was physics, chemistry, and biology. And the second one, just in case I don't get selected kusoma PCB, then it was chemistry, biology, and geography. And my third choice, actually, which was supposed to be my first one, ended up being history, geography, and economics. So that was the very first thing, and for me it was confusing. It clicked just like that. Like, it's not something that I'm really, really passionate about. Ukiachana the fact that I presented myself to other people that I was really passionate about it, you know. But then deep down I was like, nah, it's just not for me, you know. But then I didn't go for what I was passionate about, instead for what was expected of me, based on how people see me, right? So matokeo yalitoka and I was selected kusoma physics, chemistry, and biology. So I went to high school, guys. I did pursue chemistry, physics, chemistry, and biology, and high school life was interesting, actually. It was interesting. I remember I was that, kwanza, first things first, ni kwamba nilienda kusoma Ifunda Girls, and kuna kazi, like, mfanye slash, you know, like, all those kazi, and in my mind I was like, how am I going to get away with this, right? So nikaomba kuwa timekeeper, because if you're a leader then you don't have to work. So I went through the interview process ya kuwa timekeeper, and it's something that I really love because I'm really passionate and I'm really good at keeping time. Ukiniambia like we meet at this time, I'm there even before. So I was a timekeeper. That made me not kufanya kazi, like kukata majani, with all that. And another thing is that that's just something ambayo ilinisaidia into kufikia right now, like ninachokifanya, especially kwenye content creation. I remember during physics classes, there is this lady actually, anaitwa Restuta. I'll always remember her kwa sababu she played a huge role into helping me discover my potential, kind of, yeah. So I remember during physics classes, Restuta alikuwa akinipa a piece of a paper, even a book, and she'll be like, anaandika a title, yeah, anything, any random statement or whatsoever, and I can just write a story about it based on the title. So I used to write actually during physics classes. Mwalimu anafundisha, and I'm just there, writing, and I used to enjoy that. And I actually, one of the things I didn't like physics. I don't like physics. I don't like physics in capital letters, guys. I do not. And the reason why I don't, because I don't understand and I am not good kwenye hesabu. So unless I use a lot of energy, which I don't want to. But then, yeah, enough about physics. So I used to do that. So that made me learn that I'm good at writing. I can write so deep stories, and I even used to write poems. Nashanga like zilishaga wapi. But yeah, I used to write really, really good poems that a person could definitely relate to. So, and another thing is that I was really good at giving advice to people. Like people, watu walikuwa kinifuata, and I napa advice really nice and really, really helpful. So that was another thing about me. I was really into getting to know what's wrong with people and finding a way to help someone solve our problem, because ilikuwa ni single school, so there were no boys actually. So that was another thing about me, and that was my high school life. And another interesting thing that was expected of me ni kwamba I was that person, yule mtu ambaye mkiwa shule mnajua kwamba huyu mtu ana details za bash tukimaliza, like tukimaliza shule atakuwa na details za hangouts, everything. That was me. Like tukikaribia kufunga shule, people will be like, wapi likizo, such stories. So I was that lady. Like, yeah, I don't know if it's because during that time I was it was adolescent period, and I don't know if I think it was definitely me trying to find who I am. Am I really into going out? Because basically kukaa na watu for a long time, it was really draining my energy. I like to have me time. So sielewi, I think it was just a phase of my growth ambayo I had to kupitia. So I was that person ambaye likizo kifika, I show up. Whether it's swimming events, I'll show up. Bash usiku, imagine I go. Nilikuwa naenda. So it was that, and I liked it. I liked the fact that people would consult me about the events, like I have the details, yo. So that was me. So making it short, compared to me, Maliza high school results came out actually, and they were really not good. They were bad. And it's something that I did not expect. Most people did not expect, actually. I did not expect. Mpaka kesho sielewagi nini kilitokea. And don't say because I used to write stories kwenye physics classes. That's not it, because I used to study. Nilikuwa nasoma a lot. Lakini things turned out to be different in the end. So that really yani ilinivunja kikubwa sana yani nikasema nilipigwa na butwa. But anyways, results came out. I failed. It was a failure. And afu kiangalia ni kwamba I also, kwenye episode yetu tumeongelea, some people define themselves based, some people identify themselves based on their performance, based on their work or career, beliefs, values. For me, my performance, I identified myself based on my performance. I know I'm an A student, you know, I'm that. So results were talking, things were different, actually. And it hit me, ilini vuruga kabisa. I lost sight of who I am completely. And I remember my friends calling me, telling me how excited they were, like, going to uni, right? Wananipigia like, oh, and I was like, I used to tell them, I actually sikudanganya, and I was like, yeah, this is what I have. They'd be like, oh no, pole, you know, all the sympathy, which I obviously did not like. So results zilivyotoka, I remember not, text my dad my results, and I remember not seeing him for the whole week. Tunakaa nyumba moja, right? So we have to meet at some point. But wiki nzima ilipita, we did not see each other. Hakunijibu hata ile message. That's just how bad I screwed up. So, after a week, he called me and he said that it's okay. Things happened, right? I think it's something that most parents will eventually tell their children, hata kama umeharibu kiasi gani. Like, it happens, right? Just to comfort you, but deep down they're disappointed, you know. I saw myself as a disappointment to myself, to my family, to everyone, even my friends. It was a really hard period for me. And I was actually, I had all the depression symptoms. I can say I was depressed because it was not diagnosed by a psychologist. So I had all the symptoms of depression. And I shut down completely. Nilikuwa sipendi kukutana na my friends because I can't be there, listening to what you guys have to say concerning uni, and I don't think if I'll go to uni, right? So things fell apart, and after some time, I was like, okay, let me just go to my grandma. Nilienda kijijini with my mom. There was, and that's where everything changed for me. I remember this night, nilikuwa jikoni, and my kakangu, mtoto mkubwa anaitwa kaka Harry. Namwita kaka Harry. Actually, anaitwa Harry, not kaka. Namwita kaka Harry. Kaka Harry akaniambia, Jackie bunjo. And I went there, and he was like, ebu niambie, unapenda kuwa daktari au ni nini? Unapenda kuwa mtu gani? Au kuwa nani? Au kusomea nini? And I was there. Guys, actually sijawahi kumwambia mtu yoyote, nobody. And I don't know where, but there was that part of me inside, just deep down. There was just that voice of psychology. I'm not being dramatic, but there was just that voice of psychology, And just imagine, during that time, ilikuwa kitu ambacho hakipweni. It's not something that some normal person would talk about mitaani, like, I want to be a psychologist, kwa sababu ilikuwa watu wengi walikuwa hawafahamu. Sijui niliona kwenye movies, I don't know, but at some point there was just that part of me inside, that voice, But then I was just ignoring it because I'm going to be a doctor, right? So when he asked me that question, it hit me just like that. And it was for the very first time in my life that I said it out loud. I've never even hata kujiambia mwenyewe kwamba I want to be a psychologist. I just said it there. I want to be a psychologist. I want to study psychology. Akaniambia, dogo, sasa unahangaika nini? Kwa nini? Ebu kasome psychology. That's where light. That's why it all made sense, But then I had to take me time and think about it, like, because it made me redefine myself, like who mimi ni nani sasa, right? Nimesema I want to study psychology, but is it something that I am really passionate about? Or nimesema it's just because it's there, right? So I had to redefine myself. I am not Jacqueline ambaye watu wengine wana, kwa sababu kuna even some of my friends that I was very close with uko nyuma that I'm not after matokeo kutoka and everything, right? So I had to, especially after redefine myself, because I changed completely. So I had to redefine myself. Who am I? Do I love or am I passionate about psychology or medicine, right? Am I this kind of a person that is outgoing or not? I had to make things make sense because I was tired. It was such a very hard time for me because my friends wako chuo and imagine niko kijijini and chuo nili apply for medicine, but then nilipata chuo kilikuwa huko Tanga. Didn't tell any person. I kept it to myself. I think I only told my mom, but I kept it to myself. And my dad kept on asking, like, Jackie, baby, how did you, for the whole year I was at home, my friends were chuo, and it was very sad because at some point I also wanted to shut down, like delete all their contacts, because it was really hard for me to listen, especially. It's not like I was jealous or something, but it was unhealthy, I might say, for me, because I was not over the fact that I didn't go to uni. It's not something that I planned not to go to uni after my high school education. So it was really a hard time for me. But then that night with Kakaheri, it was a paradigm shift. It changed my perspective of how I see myself, of how everything is, it changed everything, guys. When I say everything, I mean everything. And I went home and talked to my dad. Nikarudi kutoka kijiji, nikarudi Dar, and I talked to my dad, and he was like, so unaenda kusoma nini? Nikamwambia I want to study psychology, and he was like, what? Psychology? And mind you, watu wengi wako wanachanganya sana. I think at some point mpaka leo kuna watu wanachanganya kati ya psychology, philosophy and sociology. So akaniambia, what? Psychology? Hiyo ni kitu ambayo haina hata umuhimu hapa kwenye jamii. I don't blame him kwa sababu watu wengi sana walikuwa na you won't even get employed na psychology. So I was like, yeah, I don't know where I got the audacity. I don't know, guys. I don't know where I got the audacity, but I was like, yes, I don't care, but I am going to study psychology and not medicine. I say it for the very first time out loud. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't like being a doctor. I can't deal with blood. I can't. I want to be a psychologist. I'm passionate about it. I want to help people, I want to understand how people behave. I want to be able to assist people solve their problems. That's how I'm wired, and that's how I want to be. I don't want to get passionate talking about it right now, but you get it. So I said it out loud, and it was like, okay, if that's what you want, then fine. But then he kept on talking about it for the whole week. Like, why don't you want to be a psychologist? Atamwambia mama, like, I'm talking about some psychology, and you know, all those stuffs. But then I knew what I wanted, and it was a time for me in my life for the very first time that sikutaka mtu yoyote. I shift how I see things for the sake of pleasing them. You know, I wanted to do things for me for the very first time in my life. So I remember my brother Ben akaniuliza like, dogo unaenda kusoma nini? I was like, nataka kusoma psychology. And he was like, okay. He helped me. I said, so then you should find a complement course to psychology. And I did go study social work for like 2 years. Yeah, I did study social work for like 2 years. And I enjoyed it, actually. Because I worked up in social work, we learn about psychology. And social work is all about, you know, helping people, the society. So I really enjoyed. And my performance was, guys, I don't want to brag about that, but it was good. So, you know, you get, I think it's something pia ambapo we need to question, kwa sababu mtu akifeli haimaanishi kwamba he or she is dumb. But then the question arises, kwa nini? Why? The why question inatupelekea sisi kujua, okay, probably this person, make kuna intelligence, kuna aina tofauti za intelligence. Kuna wengine ambao they're very good at maths, but hawajui language, you know, they're very poor when it comes to language. Kuna wengine ambao, so for me I wasn't good with maths. I'm not really good, but when I work hard, I nail it. Like, it's just the working hard part. So for me, my failure was not based on the fact that I was not smart enough. It was just based on the fact that I was not really into what I was studying, and I actually nilikuwa sina uwezo wa kile kitu ambacho nakisoma. Yeah, I was really good when it comes to biology and chemistry, but with physics I suck. So going to study or pursue social work, my grades were great actually. Got first class, and another thing that people usually perceive me ni kwamba people, when they actually, the first encounter with most people, when they see me, I don't know, do I look I don't know how to say that, like, I remember nikiwa O-level, mwalimu alikuwa ananiambia like, wewe mwalimu wa hesabu alikuwa ananiambia like, he didn't know me that well. Nilikuwa nimehamia form 3 because form 1 and 2 nilisoma St. Benedict, then nikaenda Bravo. So mwalimu nilivyohamia form 3 kwenye shule, akaniitaga ofisini kwake, akaniambia hivi, dogo acha kubisho, you know, like the way I dress and everything. But then as siku zilikuwa zinazidi kuendelea, it changed for him. Akaniita da ofisini tena, akamwambia, Jackie, I didn't know that you're really smart. I judged you based on your physical appearance. Like, I did not know that you're smart. So even social work, there was this doctor, alikuwa akiniangalia, I don't know the way, kwa sababu basically tuko tunavaa nguo za nyumbani. So alikuwa ananiona maybe labda you, like, you know, like other ladies, and it changed for her too. Akaenda kusema kwenye another class kwamba there is this lady anaitwa Jacqueline, she's anapenda kuvaa aina fulani ya nguo, but she's really smart, so be like Jackie, you know, that say be like somebody, so be like Jackie. And then kuna mtu akaja kuniambia like, hey, doctor akasema hivi na hivi darasani, and I was, yeah, big-headed. Bicho likapanda. So yeah, I think at some point people judge me based on my appearance, but and that's where psychology comes in, that we judge people based on the outlook. Like, when we get to know them better, then everything changes. We get to understand them. So it's better kumwelewa mtu before we judge them. So enough about that. Nikamaliza social work. Nimaliza social work. Matokeo yakatoka, they're really great. When I wanted to apply for my degree, then ikatokea issue kwamba my certificate imetumika na mtu mwingine, and that was another point of me I could break down. Like, why is this happening to me, God? Every time I'm excelling, shit happens. Why me? I remember crying kwenye barabara. I remember standing and crying, like, why me? Why do I keep on, and why do I have to keep on kushuka chini instead of making steps kwenda you? Why does it have to be me? Like my friends, that's the point where you get to compare your situation with your friends. Your friends are excelling, they're in school, they're studying, wanakaribia kumaliza, and you're still there trying to get there, but then shit happens. Why you? I cried that day, like, why does it have to be me? But then, so I had to not go to uni. Good thing ni kwamba I applied for a job, Pathfinder, and then nikafanya kazi for a year, as a research assistant. So I worked for a year as a research assistant. That was a plus for me because I wasn't idle. So I worked for a year as a research assistant, and I was also working on hiyo issue lotikia kwamba mtu mwingine akatumia my certificate for pursuing journalism actually. So my dad also helped me on that. After a year, I applied for a bachelor degree, BA in psychology at UDSM, University of Dar es Salaam, and I got it. I remember my expression, nilipopata ile message like umechaguliwa kujiunga na chuo kikuu cha Dar es Salaam. I was very happy, guys, very happy, like getting something that you've wanted yani muda mrefu, finally you have it, that feeling. Yeah, so I had that. And hata kwenye application I only select, niliapply kwenye chuo kimoja tu, and I was like, if I don't get it, I'm not going. But then I got it, and that's when it started, guys. Started and writing, nikaanza blogging, I started blogging way back before studying psychology at UDSM. So it started like that. After so many years of crying myself to bed, so many years of anger, like why? And so many years of questioning that, is this the right thing? Did I nilifanya makosa kufanya maamuzi niliyoyafanya of not pursuing medicine or whatsoever, After all those years, finally, I get to study what I'm really, really passionate about. So I started doing my thing. I started going for outreach activities, raising awareness concerning mental health, doing big things, guys. And then another thing, when you're passionate about something, you just do it without expecting that you get something. But then eventually, unaona tu kuna vitu vinajiconnect tu vyenyewe, like you get opportunities, mtu anakutafuta that hata ukujua kama nakufahamu, So that happened too. I got opportunities, zimenisaidia ku grow, and I'm at that point of my life where I agree I at some point experienced mgogoro utambulisho. Some people expected me, already defined me that I should be this type of person, pursue this career, and how I defined myself eventually ikawa in conflict na jinsi watu wengine wanavyoniona. So And I was at that point of confusion, like, who exactly, mimi ni nani, and getting to kuvuka ile step ya kwamba now this, the line nilio draw nikaivuka kwamba okay, now this is the person that I want to be. It changed everything. Like, it did change everything. Naishi maisha yangu ambayo I am very comfortable kwa sababu I love what I do. I do love what I do. And there is this feeling that I always get niki-publish article au nikitoa episode ya podcast. There is this feeling of satisfaction that I get. Jamani, you guys have no clue. Like, it's just there. Like, yes, I've done it. Yes, I'm going to impact people's lives. Yes, So it's there. It doesn't matter how long imechukua. It doesn't matter nimepitia vitu gani. And for some people, maybe like that's just, ni vitu vya kawaida. But for me, it's a lot. So it doesn't matter how long imechukua, vitu gani nimepitia, but how it got me to, I am grateful. I am truly, truly, truly grateful, guys. And that's where we get to a point where I want to say kwamba unapata changamoto, una mgogoro wa utambulisho, like you have no clue who you are, where you're going. Just take a moment and reflect. Yeah, just take a moment, and you can go anywhere. For me, I went kijini, I went there like sikutegemea kwamba get to redefine myself there. Like it happened. Just take a moment, and you can even go somewhere different from where you are, and just take time to think about what you really want in your life. And it might change everything. It might disconnect you with your friends. It might disconnect you with your family or your surrounding. But it's your life, and it has to start with you. Like, if it doesn't make sense to you, then why should it make sense to other people, right? So it has to make sense to you first. So take a moment and think about it. Think about what you want. Think about who you want to become. I know kuna watu wengi ambao wanafanya kazi, like they're not really passionate about hizo kazi or what they're doing. And they might even be afraid of going back and start afresh. It can be possible. Everything is possible. It just has to start with you and making a choice. So just think about it and make a choice. Just like that, everything will change for you. Everything will change kwenye maisha yako. So don't wait or don't project your anger or your emotions kwa watu wengine. Kuna watu wengine wanafanya vitu ambavyo havipendi. Mwisho siku tunaenda maofisini, tunakutana na watu very aggressive. It's not like they're just angry. They don't like what they're doing, So mwisho siku naona kwamba let me just do this to another person to feel good about myself. So let's just take a moment, think about what we really, really want, and be in that state or position of kuwa tayari kufikia pale ambapo tunataka kufikia. Kwa sababu we can think about it, but hatuna ule utayari wa kufanya au kupitia to go through the process to get where we want to get. And especially when you start comparing yourself with your friends or your colleagues or your peers. So just be in that state where you say that this is my life and this is how I want it to be, right? So yeah, guys. And another thing that I want each one of us to learn, but we should learn to not compare ourselves with other people. Ni kitu ambacho ni kibaya sana, especially watu tunaotumia social media. Hii kitu inatokea sana kwenye social media, we get to compare ourselves. Hatujui their reality. We just know the vitu ambavyo wanataka sisi tuone, right? So don't compare yourself with other people. And it's your life, so live it. Live it however you want it to leave. Yani just leave it because it's yours and you own it. So live your life. You want to be somebody, be that person. As long as you don't harm other people, as long as you don't harm yourself, as long as it's not atypical, right? So be that person and learn to be grateful. It's very important, guys. Learn to be grateful, even for the tiny little things. Just learn to be grateful. Because if you're not grateful, then utaendelea kulalamika for the rest of your life. Hata kitu kizuri kikitokea, you'll be like, oh, this is not enough. Mbona yule mwingine ana zaidi ya hiki. So learn to be grateful. It is very important. Kwa sababu utajifunza ku appreciate vitu vidogo na itakufungulia milango mingi sana, right? So learn to be grateful. And just know kwamba things do happen. They may not be good, but just be optimistic kwamba, okay, better days are coming. Yeah, it will help you to push, and itakupush wewe pia kufanya vitu vingine. So that's just it, and that was just my dramatic story. I do hope I do hope ume relate or learn something from it. And if you have the same story, or if you want to share your story, please do that kwenye social media zetu, at Instagram and Twitter. And please don't forget to use the hashtag #MentalGlowTZ. So guys, this is my story, and this is how I experienced my confusion, right? That's how I experienced my confusion. And another thing that helped me the most is letting things out. Like, I'm not really good at expressing my emotions with other people, so I usually used to write it down. So writing it down, especially when you're confused or having no clue of who you are, writing things down inakusaidia zaidi. Maana hata mwisho wa siku ukija ukasoma tena, there's a reflection like, wow, I was at this point, now I'm at this point, there's a progress, So yeah, just write it down, how you feel, how you see yourself, and how you want to see yourself. Just write it down. Or you can even share with your friends or your loved ones. Inasaidia sana, guys. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. It's been a lot. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for keep on tuning in and sharing the episodes with your friends and your loved ones. Until we meet again in the next coming episode, where we'll be talking about grief. Please tune in, kwa sababu ni kitu ambacho wengi tunapitia. So many people lose their jobs, so many people lose their loved ones. So please, let's tune in and get to learn a lot from our guest. And please also do share what you would like us to talk about in the coming episodes. What would you want to learn, or what are you looking forward to learn in the next coming episodes? Until we meet again, guys. Thank you. Bye.